Goldberg laid out Gunther. Goldberg lays out Gunther on Monday Night Raw last night. So we get to that. This is that go-home Raw before Saturday night's main event. And this Gunther-Goldberg story, I mean, it's had a lot of people feeling a lot of different ways. And we get to this point right where Goldberg has been pretty much all intensity. He had the one promo where he challenged Gunther to the match. And he went back to Bad Blood in Atlanta, and he went back to everything, the history between himself and Gunther and what was laid in that promo last October. And Gunther looked a little taken aback, but the challenge was made, the challenge was accepted. Since then, Goldberg did the interview with Michael Cole, where he said he was going to beat the F word, beat the F word out of Gunther at Saturday night's main event, which is a big, audacious claim. And then he came back on Raw last night. In the meantime, we've seen Gunther, and Gunther has done something very, very interesting. Gunther has not really, because Gunther doesn't operate with the intensity that Goldberg operates with. Goldberg is like pure emotion. Goldberg is just like raw rage. Whereas Gunther is more like, I'm the one who's controlling this situation. You think you're in control. Does that feel like you're in control? That's Gunther in a nutshell. And Gunther's been coming out, and first of all, he has been unceremoniously humanizing Goldberg at every chance that he gets. And you know how he does that? He goes out on Monday Night Raw, and he never says Goldberg. He never says Goldberg. He doesn't even just say Goldberg. He says Bill Goldberg every single time. Bill Goldberg? Bill Goldberg. I mean, he makes this wrestler who became the stuff that myths are made of. Oh, what's going to happen when Goldberg gets in there with Scott Hall or Kevin Nash or Hulk Hogan? No, he makes it sound like Bill Goldberg. You mean my neighbor, Bill Goldberg? Like, he just completely, every chance that he gets, humanizes this Bill Goldberg. And last night, he was doing it again. And in the middle of the usually it's a dehumanization process. That is the thing that a villain will do. A villain will dehumanize you. And it really is a dastardly thing to do. For Goldberg, to turn Goldberg into a mere mortal like the rest of us really does take away all that power. Because then Goldberg is vulnerable to everything that we're vulnerable to as human beings. All of a sudden, he's not this sort of unstoppable force. So Gunther's cutting his promo about Bill Goldberg, his neighbor. And all of a sudden, these racetrack tires are heard throughout the arena. And Goldberg, not Bill Goldberg, Goldberg shows up in one of his many, many sports cars, pulls up into the arena. I believe that's the car that Georgia Dome bought him. Pulls up to the arena and marches from the car right out. So no headbutting walls, no nothing. Just going right out into the ring, and he gets right in Gunther's face. And then Gunther is just here. He's cutting a promo on Gunther, but he's not doing it into a microphone. He's talking right in Gunther's face. And then Gunther goes to pick up the microphone, but what does Goldberg do? He smacks the microphone out of Gunther's hand. But Goldberg doesn't smack the microphone out of Gunther's hand with an effort to just knock the microphone to the floor. Goldberg is like showing a sign of power with that. He's trying to be the alpha male in this situation. Even more than the punch, even more than the attempted spear, he hit that microphone out of that Austrian champion's hand with every bit of might that he had. It's one thing if you're walking down the street and you got a sandwich in your hand and your buddy smacks the sandwich out of your hand. It's annoying. You don't like him. You wish he hadn't done it, but you understand he thinks that's funny. He thinks that's a prank. When you're walking down the street and somebody smacks the sandwich out of your hand, and I walk down the street with a sandwich every time I walk down the street. Somebody smacks the sandwich out of your hand so hard that the sandwich goes flying, so hard that you feel it on your hand and then stares you down. Oh, that's a sign of aggression, my friend. That is a sign of absolute aggression. And that, to me, really told the story of what Goldberg was all about with Gunther on Raw last night. And then as Gunther realizes there is no microphone in his hand, and we're going to continue this interaction, Goldberg nails him. He punches Gunther in the face, knocking Gunther on the floor. Now, if you saw this and you have opinions about it, 877-344-4893 is our phone number. 877-344-4893. Call the show today. Mike in Maine, what's up?
Hey, Sam, thanks for taking my call. I got two things for you.
Yeah.
So my son goes to school up there, so I went up and visited him. We went to Raw.
Nice.
The pop for Goldberg was insane.
Last night, you mean?
You're correct.
Yeah.
Whether it's because the arena is so small or how, but it was insane. The thing that nobody realized, when the cameras were off, Goldberg had no energy. So whether he wins or loses, I don't see this match being very long.
Well, I mean, listen, there is a way. I mean, if it starts with Goldberg could start strong and then end up on the mat for about 7 minutes. That's one way to do it.
Yep. I have a feeling, though, if he wins, I think down the line Seth cashes in and it starts to set up. I think WrestleMania, you get Seth and Roman for the title. And on the other side, I think we're looking at it wrong because Cody is definitely going heel. I think there you get Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, or you may even get Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes in a triple threat. But I think that's the way it's going to end up shaping up.
Wow. I
don't think Gunther is going to win. I think Goldberg is going to go out with a win in his final match.
And get the title?
And I think Seth cashes in, and that's going to set up the Seth Roman WrestleMania, and heel Cody will
doing it
John
again.
Cena, and then you're going to either get Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, or you may get LA Knight, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes.
I appreciate the call. Thank you, Mike. But listen, we got to discuss rules of engagement here on the phones. If you call up with your idea, okay, do not go and tell me this thing is going to happen in July and it'll set up for WrestleMania. What are you talking about? You're talking about July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. You're talking about 9 months. You can conceive a child in that amount of time. Don't go like, oh, yeah, Goldberg wins the title, then Seth cashes in on Saturday, and that sets up Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania? You can't even get me to SummerSlam. We're already going to WrestleMania with this? Let's use some sense. Do you want to say something, AJ?
I have a quick correction for everybody. It's not Goldberg. It's Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg. Okay, all right. You're humanizing him again. Yes, that's fair. But, I mean, come on, guys. Look at the calendar, okay? If you can't get me there, don't tell me it's setting up for and then just leave 9 months of dead air. You can't do that. That's unfair fantasy booking. Victor in West Virginia.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, good. I'm glad I got that off my chest.
Yeah, it's good. You gotta let all these emotions out.
That's right.
I'm just sitting here. I listen to your show all the time. I signed up for Stern. I stay on now for 24/7 wrestling all day. I love it. Anyway, okay. So, there's a couple dream theories that a couple of the listeners here have talked about. First off, Goldberg's son is not going to be showing up at any point this summer. Why? Because he's in Colorado getting ready for the football season. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, and this is going to be a squash match. Gunther needs somebody to just beat up on, and Goldberg cannot. The last caller nailed it. This guy cannot last longer than 5 minutes in the ring, and that's with 3 minutes laying on the ground. He's unbelievable, a legend, but he cannot last for a real classic match, and that's why people are looking for this classic match with Goldberg and Gunther. I think they're just going to go through him because it's going to be Gunther's story, in my opinion.
Okay, I get you. Thank you, Victor. But listen. I mean, number one, we don't know what Goldberg's cardio conditioning is. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions when it comes to that. And number two, did Goldberg really say, I need to come back for one last match? He said, I was robbed of my last match. I want to come back for one last match. I need to come back for one last match. Okay, Goldberg, it's going to be a squash. Oh, okay, sounds good. What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense either. That string of logic doesn't work for me. Part of this conversation has to be about there's a reason Goldberg's back. And that doesn't necessarily mean winning the title, but that's why, to me, Gunther winning clean, post-match attack, Goldberg then is able to conquer Gunther. Goldberg has his moment. Gunther has his victory. And then maybe you go for the cash-in for that nice button on top and sends us straight to SummerSlam. That makes sense to me, but there are many different options. But some of these options are not options because it just doesn't make any sense. I'll accept any option that makes sense. Sam in Florida. What's up, Sam?
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm good, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have a theory about the cash-in that involves Roman Reigns' return.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm fair with that. I mean, I feel like all of a sudden I'm on a hairpin trigger, but I'm okay with that right now.
So what if Rollins cashes in on Cena and then Roman returns mad that Cena is the reason why Rollins is the champ?
And then, so you're saying then Roman goes after Cena?
Yes.
Except Paul Heyman said Roman doesn't have any balls. You cannot sit around and insult the tribal chief's balls and think that like he's going to be mad at somebody else for it. We could have had a conversation, but he talked about his balls on Raw. You know what I'm saying? His balls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if somebody says to me, "Thank you, Sam," I get you, but also, again, like, if Roman Reigns comes back and he goes, "Man, I hate Seth Rollins," and Seth Rollins won the title from John Cena, so you know who I really hate? John Cena. You almost go like, what? You're like, huh? You just make that butthead face like from Beavis and Butthead? What? Like, I don't know. I feel like if somebody like said, Sam's not going to come after me, he has no balls, I'd be like, well, I got to come after that person now. And then they win the title. I'm not going to go, okay, well, now I'm going to come after the guy they beat for the title. I'm going to go, no, that's the guy. That's still the guy who said the thing. Now I'm going to take his title away from him. Tim in Arkansas. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Sam, this will make more sense than what some of them saying.
By the way, my other favorite thing too is like, Sam, all these listeners, they're going crazy today, but me and you, we get it.
Yeah. I think, they're on to something as far as Goldberg will win it,
Okay.
but Goldberg will retire and relinquish it, and then they'll put a tournament out, which is going to piss everybody off, and they're going to have to all enter that tournament just to get it because there's too many people after that belt.
Okay, so here's my problem with that. Because it is a possibility. But my problem with that is the whole idea of John Cena's story is I'm going to ruin wrestling by winning the championship and then retiring as champion. And then in the middle of that story, smack dab in the middle, Goldberg is like, hey, guys, I've got an idea. I'm going to return to wrestling, win the championship, and retire as champion. And I'm a good guy. And then we're like, what? Like, how do you do John Cena's story in the middle of John Cena's story?
You don't do John Cena's story that way. I mean, there's too much in between.
All right, Tim. I think Tim didn't realize he's in the same bucket as everybody else.